GM. GM. So trade of the day, I'm going to look at Akash as we are attempting a breakout here. So first of all, it's not trending on CoinGecko yet, which is good. You can see here what's trending. When you just click in the search bar, you see what's trending. Let me check CoinMarketCap. A lot of times these trending ones, especially CoinMarketCap, they're scammy. Yeah, not trending here. That's obviously my previous search. Akash really gets slept on. Really gets slept on. Market cap still under $500 million. Pushing, just chatting up towards $2. And everything looking good from that perspective. So AKT, I'm going to look at the aggregated chart so I can see the volume as well. Daily trend got defended super nicely. It's moving like fetch, right? It's moving like fetch at the moment. This breakout, if I go and show you why $3 is the next area I'm looking at, I have to go to a longer time. Well, let me look at the volume first here. So good volume on the reversal candle. Obviously this daily candle is only 10 hours in, we're almost above average. So if we can get a good push and a strong close with above average volume, it should give us some decent impulse to go higher. And I'll show a couple of things. That's that. I'll look at the old chart and then I'll look at Link from 2019 to show you a bit of an example of where some of these can go. So AKT gate.io. So here's actually a fractal that I had drawn, which I think is Aave, or maybe it's Link. It might be Aave. Take away all that shit. Take away the bands. I think it was on a weekly. Yeah. So this was how Aave moved out of its first bear market. Crazy, isn't it? That's just to show you what can happen. I don't think this will happen, by the way. Do not think this will happen. But the exact move is from over here. And you can see how crazy they can move. Now, the similarities of Aave. Now, there's a few things. COVID happened over here. Massive money printing happened here in this area. So I do not think Akash will do the same, right? But it's to show you what can happen. The main thing you want to see is when it breaks out from a bear market low on a weekly perspective and makes higher highs and higher lows, like Aave did and like Akash has been doing, is this weekly needs to stick. If this next weekly on AKT breaks out and holds, you can expect these gaps to stay and no pullback. And it probably trends up or comes back to retest the breakout itself. So I'll show that in a second on AKT. But you have different areas in between. Whenever a coin has had a strong decline all the way down, you've got levels along the way. So you've got your bear market level, which I'll just use the wicks, right? You've got your bear market level here, that high. Once that flips into support, away we go. Once you get above this next one, again, away it goes. And beyond that, there's no real resistance in these levels, right? I would say with this previous low on Aave, once it was able to get above that resistance, this previous support, there was nothing stopping it then until the next level, and it ended up running all the way to all-time high before stopping. In fact, lasted beyond all-time high for a deep correction. So I don't think AKT is necessarily going to do that right away. I think it's more of a slow mover. Aave was also Well, no, that was before DeFi summer, so that was, the blow off top on Aave did come around DeFi summer though, when DeFi projects were going crazy. So that's if it followed that exact fractal, which again I'm not saying it will, because we don't have the massive money printing. Of course, AKT wouldn't really need that to go to these levels, because it wouldn't be insane in terms of market cap appreciation. It would probably put it at, well, it would only be a 4x, so it would put it at about 2 billion, 2.5 billion market cap. Not crazy. But I see $3 here as an obvious level, right? We have now, in my mind, flipped this level quite convincingly from resistance into support. So you had the bear market range. You had this first level here, right? Where price got above it, flipped it into support. You then, at the second level, which is this 140, these highest weekly closes here before the breakdown, we had that, sold off from it, and we've pretty convincingly flipped it. Now, I still would I want to compound my trade, and I still would like a retest at 140, but I think, especially with today's reaction, that's probably going to get front ran. At least that's how it's looking, yeah? So from here, I see no major resistance once it gets above $2. I don't see much major resistance until 3. And the way these move is they accelerate more into their final legs. And I would say in terms of its trend, AKT has had really 3 pretty clear legs. So the first one here kind of took us out of the bear market. Second one up into a nice reaccumulation. And we're on the third leg. So we're on the third push. As you look at it here from the perspective of low, high, a higher low, a higher high, and a higher low. So if you're looking at those Livermore accumulations that we talk about, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then working on the 6. Sometimes people want to come back there and then it goes away. I don't get hung up too much on those. The main thing is making higher highs and higher lows all the way. And now is breaking out to a new set of higher highs. And so from there, my eyes are drawn upwards. Question then becomes, and this is all if, right? If we get to that 3 and it's accelerating, it can go much, much higher, but it has to have momentum. One of the hardest things for a coin to build up is momentum. That's why it accumulates for so long. You see consolidations, you see price going slowly and slowly and slowly. Then when it blasts into life, you can see rapid price changes. And as it's going up, it can keep going up. And it can go up more than people think. So when those times come, you don't want to start fading it. Don't fade momentum. Don't sell because you feel like it's gone too high or you want it to. You have to allow the momentum to play out. And it's one of the best coins in the market. Has been all year, structurally, and has amazing momentum. Right? As in just building, 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 not going crazy. No blow off tops or nothing yet. And so if I look at comparing it to Link, and compare it to Link from 2019, because this is basically, you've probably heard me talk about this all year. This is the exact price comparison I've used all year to trade AKT. And it's looking at this part, right? I'm looking specifically at what happens over here. So when it breaks out of this part, where the kind of blue box is on Link, that's when it can go crazy. So the equivalent here, it's not all-time high like it was for Link, But the equivalent is breaking out of this bear market range, which you come up and tested, sold off. We've now flipped it. We're sort of chilling in this blue box area. And that's where you can see a rapid final move or big move to set up a much higher trading range, which I do think eventually comes back to there, but I think will confirm that we don't go lower than that. Right? So that would be one potential path. Now it has to get hype as well. I think ideally Akash needs like a big exchange listing or something. Not sure if this exact pump for Link led to an exchange listing. Maybe it was when Binance listed it. No, it was already on Binance by then. So, big exchange listing or some new hype. It really has to blow up and reach a new wave of buyers. If it's just the same same AKT community, it'll still do fine, it'll do well, but it'll just kind of grind. So hopefully we see some new developments from the team. And then the 4-hour path that I was looking at here was very similar to how BitTensor looked before it broke out, right? If you remember back here, BitTensor was looking like this, eventually broke out. Fetch, obviously, given its AI, Fetch and AKT are looking very similar. Fetch is at a nice flip of the resistance into support for now. If Fetch can extend beyond, I think AKT can as well, because AKT seems to be pretty similar, pretty well correlated to Fetch. And we obviously had Render do the same a few weeks ago. We had this kind of consolidation at the highs, then broke higher, keeps grinding up and up and up. So a lot of these to me look like they're building up for blow off tops. And it's mostly in AI, which is quite good as well from obviously an AKT perspective. So AI, DPIN. Let's see if those narratives catch a little bit of fire again going into the end of the year. We'll take a look quickly at Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia having a solid consolidation up at the highs here. How's the 50 looking? Is it making a box still? I mean, well, there we are. Call Professor Ayush. That's looking pretty nice. My opinion. Seems like Nvidia could break out into the end of the year. As long as it stays above the 50, of course. I mean, you don't really want to see it dropping down below there. But I would say, why would Nvidia do a head and shoulders, then sell off, then rally up, then hold above the 50? If it wasn't going to go higher, why would it do all that? I mean, could be a trap, but it does seem like Nvidia's probably going to run into the end of the year if the stock market stays healthy. That'll help the AI narrative. It'll help other projects do the same. And about Microsoft as well. Yeah, there's Microsoft like above all-time high and having retested the breakout. Right. So Microsoft was super bearish initially. Deviated its all-time highs, back inside, reclaimed again, flipping, holding. And Microsoft is like the proxy for OpenAI. So that's it. GM, AKT looking good. Of course, there's not really much you would do at this point other than just allow it to do its thing. And then we'll see. We get to $3, depending on how it moves there, I might take a little bit of profit. GM.